So I think it was June 2018, the 21st of June 2018. I remember it because I was having a LAN party with my best friend. And whilst we were setting up, we were, of all things, going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons online because, yes, I am a massive nerd. And as is always the case, when you do these sorts of things, you make arrangements to come around to play games together, right? Something comes in that, takes the legs out. And when my best friend came over to play Dungeons and Dragons with me, I'd brought my laptop to his house and we were set up and everything. Boom, the game had gone down for maintenance and was closed for like 8 hours. So we were a little bit frustrated because we were looking forward to meeting up, staying up all night, drinking, playing games, having fun. It was a tradition for us. So in that downtime when we were sort of setting up and we realized all this sort of thing, my best mate went to me and he was showing me this mobile game. And this mobile game was Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Now, obviously, back in 2018, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes was a very, very different game, even for me, and it was very new. As we had nothing really to do, or nothing that we planned to do at that point in time, well, things were updating, we were waiting for this, for this scheduled downtime to be finished. I installed the game. I was like, got it on my phone, download it. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll play it. I like RPGs. My introduction to gaming was essentially Final Fantasy VII. Actually, it wasn't really. My introduction to RPGs was Final Fantasy VII, but that had me hooked. I was actually playing games on my dad's Atari at like age 4, playing a game called James Pond. Comment in the comment section down below if you ever played James Pond, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, it started what is, an 8-year love affair nearly. An 8-year love affair. And obviously from that 8-year period, or 2018 period, we got into COVID. And during COVID time, 2020, it was obviously a hard and difficult time for many, many people, myself included. And the whole world went into lockdown, basically. I needed something to do. I was like, I've been playing this game for, 3 years, nearly 2 years, 2 and a bit years. And I was like, during lockdown, we can't go out. We can't go to the gym. We can't go out to meals. We can't go visiting places. So I want to do something to take my mind off it. And I decided to start this channel, Scribe Gaming. I started it in like May or April time. So it's nearly to the month that I started doing Galaxy of Heroes as a content creator. I've done other things as well. I've done a few Let's Plays and covered a couple of games just randomly when the feeling took me. And I'll be honest, this month, you may have noticed my views are down. I'm not pushing as much content as I'm normally pushing because I've been overwhelmed with work, and I honestly, I'm a little bit burnt out. I'm a little bit very burnt out, truth be told. It's a hard gig trying to grow an audience on YouTube. It's a hard gig to try and push forward and try to make something out of a channel. And Galaxy of Heroes right now is in a tricky spot. Let's be real, but you go back 4 or 5 months, you go back to November, December period, and things were looking pretty good. We had new update coming, the year of the anniversary, we had some really cool characters coming, we had this unknown new game mode coming. Things looked really positive. But obviously when the update dropped, the era of the anniversary dropped, and we had all of the information. Well, we didn't even have all of the information, and that's part of the problem, right? Like, we had some of the information available to us. We had, Colosseum was here, but a lot of people were confused about the era leveling concept, about how we're supposed to progress in Colosseum, about what this means for the legendary that we unlock and stuff like that, and how it translates into era battles and all this sort of good business. And we still don't know certain things, right? Galactic Legends, what's happening with Fleet? Because we can't really introduce Fleet into Colosseum because they'd have to take the Colosseum and put it out into space. And we would need to have an entire era of battles that were just Fleet, because how could you use a ship alongside a character to beat a Colosseum boss? So it's just all of these sort of questions that we still don't really have the answer to. And after the era of the anniversary, we had the era of the Andor. The era of the Andor. The Andor. The theatrical experiences. Yeah. And Andor, whilst it is a loved and beloved TV show, I don't think it's really hitting the strides that people want to be hitting in terms of excitement and hype for Galaxy of Heroes. After we had the Era of the Anniversary update come in, and we didn't have any updates to new Colosseum bosses, we didn't have any updates to, you know, what's in the future. Are we having anything to do with Era PvP? Not that people really want it, and we're still not having updates to GAC and Territory Wars and things like this. It feels like the wheels are starting to slow down a little bit, and I've been finding it very difficult. I sit down and I think, I want to make a video today. I would like to put out some nice content. I'd like to put out something entertaining, something that people can watch and enjoy and sit back and just relax and be part of the tribe, right? That's why I made this channel. Partly was I want to do something creative, right? I want to do something where I get to be a little bit more fun than the average job allows me to be, right? I want to be able to provide some sort of value to people. I've done countless guides, unlock guides, farming guides, mod guides, all this sort of stuff, right? I try to find value, and if I can't find value, I try to add entertainment. And sometimes you try and mix them both together. I'm not saying I'm good or great or anything at either of those things, but that's my goal and my intention. And currently I'm finding it very difficult. So with that being said, I think it's probably time to announce that there will be probably no changes to the channel. It is April 1st, guys, and I know that it's gone past midday, but I don't care, because sometimes in order to rickroll, you got to do a couple of changes, right? You got to mix things up. No, I'm going to still cover Galaxy of Heroes, of course I am. Am I concerned about the state of the game? Yes, I am. I am concerned about the state of the game. I have some glimmer of hope. I do have some glimmer of hope that the next era is going to bring something, right? I mean, it could just be me being a fool and just buying into this whole environment that I've created, which is I love this game and I want it to succeed, and I need it to succeed because I put so much of my life into this game and into this channel, and I would like to continue to do that, and I'd like to continue to see it grow, okay? There are things coming, obviously, in the Star Wars universe that will help exposure to this game. For example, we are getting Maul Shadowlord this month. Next month, we've got The Mandalorian and Grogu coming. May the 4th, obviously, Star Wars Day with Revenge of the Sith 5th. You know, all of this sort of stuff is coming next month, and provided CG hit their strides, it could be great things. We could see some good things, but it is going to need some real good communication and work coming out of Capital Games. And I'm hopeful that they can do something. I'm hopeful. There are things that I would like to see come to the game, and chief among those is just a complete rework of Grand Arena and Territory War. I know CG's focus is on this era-based combat system, this era-based collection system where they can essentially recycle new whales to put new money into the game and not feel like that they're disadvantaged compared to the existing player base. They feel like they can gain that same advantage, and I think that is a noble goal to do, but it shouldn't be done at the expense of the legacy game modes that we all love. I mean, part of the problem is that we don't love all the legacy game modes because they have been neglected. We don't see any updates to Territory War. We don't see any updates to Grand Arena. All the updates that we have are new characters and new datacrons, and that's not enough to maintain excitement in the game. It's all very well and good to have new characters come to the game, and we can get excited, and, you know, there's power creep, and there's, you know, new strategies, and there's new team comps, and oftentimes there's absolutely zero theory crafting, but sometimes there is, right? But the game needs to consist more than just new units. We need to have places to use these new units, and I don't care if that is additional error systems, but I would rather see an uplift and give us an opportunity to use our characters as a guild versus other guilds. Give us a new type of TW, a new type of guild-based PvP activity that's actually worth the time investment, gives you something good as a reward, and values players' investments, right? So if you've built up your roster and you've got lots of really good meta teams and you've got Territory War Omicrons, let them be used in a meaningful game mode that is both valuable and fun. Because right now, Territory War is just a slog, and it's not interacted, and most guilds that go into TW have some sort of drastic unfair match. I mean, that's not strictly true. Not most guilds have an unfair matchup. a lot of guilds have an unfair matchup. The system is just not designed very well to create a equitable and fair matchup in TW. And there's a part of me that thinks, okay, yeah, part of me thinks from a competitive standpoint, it shouldn't necessarily be fair, right? If you're in a league system and you face somebody that's got more money and is, think of it in terms of football, right? You spent more money on better players, you get beat, you don't get upset and be like, oh, that wasn't a fair matchup. You know, I don't know how to put this in terms of soccer. Manchester United playing Stoke or something. No, in my luck, Stoke probably beat Manchester United recently. I wouldn't be surprised. But it's that sort of thing, right? You know, it's like, I get it. You want to have a fair matchup. I understand that. Let's try and build towards that. But you're not always going to have a fair matchup. You should definitely, in the formative times, be facing off against equal or equitable battles. And then eventually you will outstrip where you're able to be, you know, advantageous, right? And then you get knocked down and then you meet people at the same level, right? The point I'm trying to make, I'm not trying to go down a rabbit hole into just random discussions around matchmaking and stuff like that. The point I'm trying to make is I really want to see CG focus on these game modes to breathe some fresh life into the game and keep people interested. Because collecting characters just isn't enough. You need to have a variety of game modes. I don't feel like we do have a variety of game modes that are different. You know, we don't have a variety of game modes that allow us to use specific elements of our factions. And I'm not talking about it always is the latest and greatest unit. No, I want us to have factions where we can use stuff like, oh, this is a recurring monthly event that gives us, I don't know, good speed mods and you have to use Jowers or something like that. I don't know. I'm not saying that in particular, but things like that we need to see more of it on a regular basis. Let's see some new ways to interact with our rosters, new way to interact with other players. Give us some testing areas so that we can test our teams and our units, so that we're not just blindly going into GAC battles with no idea about how teams work and how teams can be countered. Let us test these things with like markers to say, oh, I want to test it in a TW environment with TW armies, GAC, 5v5 or 3v3. You know, let us work out without having to spend crystals in Squad Arena to have basically an environment where we're restricted on the units that we're fighting against. We're restricted on the information that we can gather because we don't have Omicrons. And then at the end of it, if you want to keep doing it, you're going to have to pay crystals to refresh. It's just absurd. So there are a lot of things that I would like to see. A lot of things that I'd like to see. And I know that this is not a normal, typical video, ladies and gentlemen, that I would do. But like I said, I'm finding it harder and harder to actually make content whilst we're in this dead zone for the game. I do feel like there's going to be a lot coming up. There will be a lot coming up, right? New stuff will be coming. We're going to have a new era. But when you release all the information for a new era, and we've got 3 months worth of information and nothing else to run on, it's really hard to maintain a level of enjoyment, right? Way back when we used to get characters and we would only find out the characters as they released, it was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder who could be coming next. I wonder who this could lead to. I wonder what sort of events that they will be into. Nowadays, we know exactly everything that's coming out in a big 3-month period, and the player engagement just kind of, it wanes. It wanes. Need to drip feed us a little bit more, maybe. Who knows? I'd like to know your thoughts though, guys. Comments down below. Let me know. Happy April Fools. What would you like to see come to the game? Give the video a like, and I'll see you all in the very next video. Peace out. May the Force be with you.